When Rima talks about a structural slowdown, it kind of also seems to reflect what Frank D'Souza was talking about. I mean, he used a more dire expression, an existential crisis. But is there a growth problem? Is there a business model problem? Is there a capability problem? I mean, that's what we're trying to understand here.
I think it's a mindset problem to my mind. I mean, if you just go back a couple of months when Piyush Goyal was complaining about the lack of deep tech work, absence of deep tech work in India, a lot of people reacted, venture capitalists, startup founders, etc. But to me, the silence of Infosys, TCS, Wipro was conspicuous. I mean, they should have been the first one to answer that question, because what does innovation require? Capital, talent. And if you have about 1 million engineers, techies working for you,
I think 10 million last count.
exactly. I'm just saying you can't. I mean, if each company has to put together 50 people and say that do whatever you want, and we could have been on the forefront of innovation instead of just talking about it.
US IT has always been about products and new technologies, etc. They've been customers for Indian IT services companies. So just take a look at this. Magnificent 7 companies in the US account for about 47% of R&D spend in the S&P 500, right? 47% of the R&D spending is out of S&P 500 is these 7 companies. And guess what?
Yeah.
To the question, are they rewarded? These 7 companies are 34% of the market cap of the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Now, is that a straightforward answer? Of course, there are so many other things which go into the mix. But I just thought the data was kind of very, very stark.
So I want to bring in the R&D figure here.
Yeah.
In the last 6 years, we have spent they spend on average 1% of the revenue. So if you take FY25 revenue, it's about 6 lakh crore for the top 5 companies. I'm not going beyond it. And 1% of that is 6,000 crore. If you look at the actual number, it's about 3,500 crores. That's what they spend on R&D. And on the other hand, the investors in India have rewarded them for being consistent paymasters. They have given 1 lakh crore. These 5 companies have given 1 lakh crore as share buyback, as payment back to the shareholders, and that's what they've been rewarded for. So in terms of wealth creation, it's important to differentiate between how is the wealth created, by building a sustainable business, or by short-term gains or long-term gains. And I think on that we've been sort of slightly...
In the US, by the way, buybacks are a huge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, there have been studies which show that a majority of the gains in the US over the last 10 years, US stocks, has come through buybacks, not through...
that's a short-term gain.